Hi everyone, it's God's Silliest Soldier. I'm just gonna go over a quick topic. It's about people who say America is a Christian nation. And so this is a small portion of a sermon I did on how politics is a deception, and this segment is on that exact topic. So America has the most self-proclaimed Christians of any nation. It has 230 million out of roughly 330 million people, or 70% of Americans claim to be Christian. However, as a percentage, it's number 56 out of countries with over a million Christians, right? And then it's 90 if you include small countries, being islands and the Vatican, Liechtenstein, stuff like that. So, of the 230 million people who say they're Christian in the United States, only 75 million out of 230 say they're born again. So that's 33% of people who say they're Christians. And then of the 33%, 9.5 out of the 75 million, 9.5 million claim to have a biblical worldview. Claim, right? So only 4% of Americans would be, quote, real Christians if we just go by their own words and don't examine, like, if they even have a biblical worldview. And so I think we've got to realize that Jesus said that the way to life is narrow and few find it, and the way to destruction is broad and many find it. And we've really got to treat people who say they're Christian, at least in America, as it's possible that they're Christian, but until we examine their fruits, you can't just hear someone say some Churchianese language stuff and then be like, oh, they're saved, I don't need to witness to them or edify them. So you just got to realize that in a Western country, Christianity is a culture. They don't, they're not devout, really, most of them. Even if they go to church every Sunday, they're probably not devout. And yeah, so I'm doing this as kind of like a warning to Americans who act like they have to go to the third world or something to go preach the gospel. Like, people here don't know the gospel. If you want to go to the third world, go to the backwoods of Mississippi or something. You don't need to cross an ocean to find like poverty, people who need help. So yeah, there's a big mission field in America, and that's what I try to focus on. So God bless. Amen. Pray for the persecuted church abroad. Amen.